I'm back on again. So let's have a look here. I have the thing for the comments. Let's have a look. James is struggling to get in here. Let's see. Let's give it a little minute. See if we can load this back up. Don't you just hate it when you buy some software and then just as you get used to it, they shift everything, they change it. I don't understand why they would do this. So yeah, that's the problem with this today. Oh, Eyup JB from Poland. Is everybody rolling back in again? Okay. Let's see right. Okay, so that's the thing that's going on there. James, if you're in the private chat, pop up. Hi. Let's see if this is gonna crack on. Let's see if anybody. Let's let some people roll in. Let's up. Hey, it's Dan from Ottawa. Yay, Robert, I'm back. Yes, I am. I'm back. I think I'm probably going to have to look at some new streaming software with this because, like I say, this is Restream and it's meant to do it on YouTube. It's meant to do it on Facebook at the same time, but it's not playing. It's not playing today because they've moved everything. They've moved stuff around, so I'm going to have to operate stuff. Hey up, folks! There's loads of chat there. I can see you in the chat. Let's start off this lesson in earnest then. Let's start it properly. And what we shall do is we shall persevere and we shall crack on. And what I'll do is I'll probably hold up pieces of paper on screen and I'll show you, demonstrate on the guitar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to marry a couple of lessons today. Now, if you know the L7 grid, the L7 grid. So the L7 grid, which page is that one now? The L7 grid is on page 19, lesson 14 in the book. But what we're going to do is we're going to marry it with lesson 27 as well. Dominant shell chords on the grid also. Okay, so does that look good to you guys there? Just tell me if that looks okay in the chat. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to show you how you can extend this idea of the L7 grid. It's not in the book. This is actually me just giving you all my secrets because, you know, I'm more interested in you playing guitar. That's what we're going to do. But while you're just there, let me just show you something. And I just wanted to show you guys something. The guys at Jet Guitars have been in touch. And they've sent me these. I'm not endorsed by them in any way, shape, or form. But they sent me some guitars to try out. Has anybody heard of Jet Guitars? Look at this. Yes. When would be the best time to learn bar chords for a beginner? Brian from Scotland. Brian, bar chords, you learn them on a need-to-know basis. I kind of think that you need to learn how to move yourself around in one key. Yeah, so the key of C major, the key of G major. If you look at, there's a lesson that I did called the 10 essential chords. That explains the chords that you need to learn. You need to learn the F chord and you need to learn the B minor chord because those are from those two keys. Those are the most popular keys that songs are written in. So, you know, that's the thing that you need to look at first. But you don't always need to play the bar chords. You know, you can escape them if you want. I like playing bar chords. I like playing non-bar chords. I just like playing chords. I like playing guitar. You know, and this is why the guys at Jet sent me these to try out. Because you know I love my Pacificas. So what they've done is they sent me this. Now you look at this. It's Olympic White HSS. This is about 150 quid, I think it is, if I'm not mistaken. James, is that about right? These are about 150 quid. This one. This is the Jet something JS 400. Lovely guitars. So put these on your wish list. And I'm really impressed with them. Maple neck, a lot of guitar for the money. And then they sent me this one. So they sent me two at first, and then they sent me this one. Look at that. I think this is about £120. Right, so 169 at the moment for the white one there. And then this one, and this is must be about 140 quid. Yes. So power chords are Brian. Power chords are I think I've done a lesson on power chords as well. Right. So, but let's get on with this lesson. But I just wanted to show you these. Yeah. So I'm thinking, if you guys have got any feedback and reviews about this, what you like, if you have heard of these jet guitars, or if you or anything else like this. But I'm so impressed with them so far. So that's that one. And then they sent me another one. Look at that. Look at that. It's still got all the gubbins on it, you know, the plastic stuff. Yeah, how do they play? Well, do you know something? I am a super fan of the Yamaha Pacifica, and for me, it's all about the neck. It's all about the neck. Because the body can be whatever you want it to be, really, but the neck feel, it has to cater for the comfort of your hand. Now, because I've got stumpy sausages, what I need, it does look sick, yes. What I need is, I need a nice comfy neck. If it's too chunky, I don't get on with it. I would love to have a Les Paul. But if it isn't a slim taper 60s neck, then it's one of those, you know, it's really hard to get to grips with, literally. So what we need to be able to do is we need to be able to do that, and that's the main consideration. But this one has got this super green top on it there, and you know, it's got this roasted maple neck, locking machine heads. This one is €395, which is probably about 360 quid. Yeah, 360 quid. I've got a Schecter that cost me 700 that is about the same sort of spec. You know, so this for me, bargain, absolute bargain. This is you know, what we've got to do. We're going to test these out. We're going to test them out. Might like them, might not. First impressions, blown away with the quality. Absolutely amazing. Right. Anyhow, back on with the lesson. There was somebody at the door just then, so I think we're going to have to ignore them. Anyone have the link? Just look them up. Jet Guitars. I'll type it in there. Jet Guitars. Good. They're a good. They're a new brand, but yes. So okay, what I was going to talk about was the this. Get back on track, Ricky. Get back on track. What I was going to do is we're going to talk about this L7 grid and how we can use it in other locations. But one of the things I want to show you first is I want to show you a little hack. This is one of my old videos that I have. And this is a little hack to find notes on the guitar in different positions. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the L7 grid, and I'm going to do it in the key of C major, because what we're going to do here, hopefully you'll see how you can actually make this L7 grid go all the way up the neck. Yeah, so watch this. So if I've got a C here, right, 8th fret on the E string here, that's a C note, okay? So that's C there. Now, if I were to find that same note, what I do is I drop down onto the next string, and what I do is I do a math thing. I do a mathematical equation. I don't count frets. So if I'm on 8 here, I know that what I do is I subtract 5. So 8 minus 5 is 3. Okay, so 8 minus 5 is 3. If you can hear that, I'm getting the same pitch. So this is a C, and this is a C. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. Now, that works great up until a point. If I drop below the 5th fret, then obviously if I'm on fret 4, I can't subtract 5, so because I end up in negative fret area somewhere where frets don't exist. So that means anywhere below that becomes a kind of a moot point. But what we can do is we can reverse this idea. We can take this fret here and we can add 7 to find the same note but on the next string, but it will be an octave higher in pitch. Hopefully that makes sense. So 4 plus 7 is going to be 11. So that means you can find it really easy. This is what we're going to do here. Yes, Brad, you can reference the book, and it is a teaching moment. But what I'm going to do is the idea with the lessons that are in the book is they do lots of different things. You can expand on these ideas, and once you expand, you see how these things overlap. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this C here. So just to show you that this is on the fret 8, and if I add 7 to 8, that gives me 15. That's going to tell me where that note is there. Now that's a great little fretboard hack, just from the get-go. If you think about it, that's how you find those there. So as well as learning your caged octaves, all that business. I think that's the one there, Marcel. We also have lesson 27 on page 33, because we're going to get into 2 lessons. We're going to do a marriage between 2 lessons as well. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to show you this little hack. So let's reiterate that for Bill. Let's do this again. So fret 8 is a C. Okay, now if I want it to be the same pitch, I drop down towards the head, -5. Do it as a sum. Mathematics, yes? So 8 minus 5 is 3. No going like this. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, counting down like that. You don't want that. What you want to do is you want to have an association with these notes. Yeah, so that's a C and that's a C here. This is how we're going to find it really easily, because we need to find this note, because the key we're going to look at today, Quelle Surprise, is going to be C major. Yeah, so that is the tonic. If you remember from last week's synonym lesson, this is the tonic for the key of C. It's the root note for the scale of C. It's the root note for the chord of C. So this is how we're going to find all these things, because you need to know the names of the notes so that you can find out what key you're playing in. Yes, and then once you're there, you can start to add these structures and these frameworks, and they will signpost where you put your chord scales and your arpeggios. Okay, so I've got this here, this C here, this one here, and then, like I say, going up the neck. But remember, if you listen, this is 8, add 7, it's going to take us to 15. Yeah, now here's the thing that we have to remember. And I always go on about it, and this is how the strings are tuned. They're tuned in perfect fourths, apart from one pesky set, which I love the fact that they aren't tuned in fourths. That's the G and the B string. That's tuned in thirds. So when we want to do that same idea with the G to the B string, what we do is we -4. Yeah. So from the 5th fret, if we want to take this note here at the 5th fret on the G string, subtract 4, 5 minus 4 is 1. So that puts me on the 1st fret, right? And then when I want to go up an octave, what I do is I add 8. Notice, you see, we're adding and subtracting that compensation of 1 fret when we do that on that G to B string. So here, okay? So here, 5 to 7. 5 and 8 is, what's 5 and 8? 5 and 8 is 13. So you can see we get that same note there, right? Now, if I want this note here, I'm at 13. 13 subtract 5. That's going to put me on 8 again. So hopefully you see that this is an interesting, it's a longer linear way of working your way through these mathematical ways of finding your notes. So along with that linear, you've got your caged octaves as well. So you've got lots of different ways. You've got little landmarks like Gift of the Gab. Yes, all these different things, using your dots to help you find your way there. Andy Peacock is there. Hiya, gorgeous. So what we've got is, that's a great way of understanding how that fretwork board works on a linear path here. Yeah, guys, and don't worry, this will be available on replay. Yeah, so if you need to come back to it and watch it, that's fine. Right, excuse me. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this we're going to look at this L7 grid, but in the key of C. And I'm going to do it up here. What I've done is I've done it down here in G before because it follows the dots, and that's nice and easy. If we do it on C, what we end up with is no dots on the 8th and the 10th fret, and then we get double dots on the last parts. But it's still always a whole step apart. So we're going 1, 4, 5, 6, 3, 2. That's how we get those. We're associating the tonality of those chords there. So if I was here, that would be a C major chord. This would be an F. This would be a G. Those are my major chords. Then what happens is we get the minors here. We get those 3 there. So we've got the minor, which is the 6 chord, minor, which is the 3 chord, and the minor, which is the 2 chord. So you can see that's wonderful. Yes. So hopefully, thank you, Marcel. Marcel's modding for me here. Excuse me. I would normally do that off camera, but we'll do it like this today. So, okay, hopefully that makes sense. Now, here's the cool thing. This is the power of string pairs. And let me just explain string pairs. String pairs is another lesson in the book. Someone could put it in the chat. If they can find the string pairs lesson and put it in the chat, yeah, which lesson it is. Yeah. And I'll just briefly go over it. Like I say, this is a string pair, yeah, and we have 3 main string pairs. So we've got the E and A string are a string pair. They're a perfect 4th. That's a perfect 4th string pair. Jump onto the D and the G string, we get another perfect string pair, yeah. And then we jump down onto the B and E string, and we get another string pair there. So there's 3 main string pairs that cover all 6 strings, but there are 2 subsets as well. There is the A and the D string pair, and that is also tuned as a perfect 4th. So that means that behaves and acts in exactly the same way as the E and A string pair, the D and the G string pair, and the B and the E string pair. Thank you, Marcel. So we've got those there, yeah? That means anything you play on those will match all the way through. This is the beauty of string pairs. You need to know string pairs because string pairs are absolutely superb for, if somebody put that there, for arpeggios. Yes? Okay? Right. So we've got these string pairs. But what I can do now is, if I take this L7 grid that I was demonstrating here, now what I can do really is I can take this and I can drop it down into another part of the neck. It's going to be the same pitch. The timbre will change because the string thicknesses are different, and because when I play this C here, I'm using 6 strings. Yeah, when I switch down here, using that -5 there, yeah, 8 -5 puts me in a new position to play the L7 grid yet again. You with me, guys? You with me? Do you see this? Look, yeah. So, like I say, giving you the secrets. Yeah. There's 1, 4, 5. Here's 6, 3, 2. Can you hear it? This is the power of the L7 grid. And remember, I told you there's 4 grids. I've not got into them all yet. It's really hard for me to get into absolutely everything because I've just got so much to show you. So here, this one here, right? That's obviously going to be major. So because it's starting on the A string, if we think about caged and the way the cage system works, yeah, this is the C chord. The root note for that C chord is on the A string. But if we play an A chord, the root note for the A chord is also on the A string. So that means we take that A shape and we move it up. And that gives me my A-shaped C chord. Yeah? So I play it like that. I play it like Brian May. He uses his pinky. But I think he's got long, slim, elegant fingers. Yeah? So I know that's going to be my chord 1. Okay. Cool. Now, we're not going to be using the E shape when we're on this one. We're using two new shapes to flesh out the L7 grid. So when we drop down onto the D shape, what happens is we get, I've just said it, haven't I? When we drop down onto the D string, what happens is we get the D shape. Look, there's the D shape there. That's the chord. Now, so what we're going to do is, if we look at this, some of you might struggle with that shape and playing it, but look, let me just simplify it and just play it as the triad. Second inversion triad, D shape, 5R3. There's a 5R3. Look. I'm getting really excited here, guys, because if you saw the live lesson last week, you'll know that 5R3, put a sus4 on it. Yeah, we get that suspended pentatonic that I was talking about last week. So this means that you can put this in other positions as well. You got all command of the whole neck. I'm showing you these secrets, guys, because this is it's pretty cool. So here, there's chord 1. This is going to be chord 4, and then this is going to be chord 5. Yes? There? Okay. Now, chords, remember, what we've got is we've got 1, 4, 5 there. So this one is going to be chord 6. Because this is a D shape, because I've got 5, R3, what I have to do is I have to flatten that 3 to turn it into a minor. So this is the shape that you end up getting. So that's your 6 chord. Right? Here is the 3 chord. And here is the 2 chord. So look. I'm going to play it like this. Yeah, so you see how these all fit. And I'll play them here in this one. Okay, does that make sense? If that makes sense, guys, can you just let me know in the chat there? See how we're going on. Well, I just have another little sip of water and read the chat. Sine wave patterns. Oh, connecting the subdominant. Yeah, it did. It looked like sine wave patterns. It did, didn't it? And the thing is, you join that onto the to the tetrachords for the cycle of fifths. Then that's when the cycle of fifths makes sense to me. See, so I don't always rule it out. That's when it makes sense. Yeah, James says the sounds a little bit ducking and compressing. It might be because of there's some controls in here that are doing that. And it's doing echo cancellation noise. Let me take them off, and hopefully that audio will cut through a little bit better now. So okay, so we've got chord 1, chord 4, chord 5, chord 6. Yeah, there we get that. So we can join these two ideas together now. Okay, now that isn't the only thing. Actually, what I'm going to tie it into some other lessons. There's some other lessons on my videos, and you'll see. Where are they? Let me have a look. Compound third chords. Yeah. This one here, compound third chords. Now, if you, I talked about this in another live the other week about compound intervals. You might think of this as being a tenth. How we can break this down, but the simplest way to express a chord is with the root note and the third. Yeah. Now, when we do this, and I'll show you this in C major here, and what I'm doing is I'm using this grid here. Oh, thanks, Mike. This here, 2 notes. This is the root note here on my index, and this one here on my third finger is the third of the chord. Now, what I do is I track the root notes on the L7 grid now, and I'll play chords 1, 4, and 5. That's from an E shape. You wouldn't think it's from an E shape, but look, let me just build an E shape there. There's an E shape. Hang on, let's take it right back to being an E shape with the fingers. Look, there's the E shape. Change the fingers, slide it up into the position so it becomes a bar chord. Get rid of what I don't need for the bar chord so that I'm just left with the root. And the third, that's called a dyad. Yeah, that's a dyad there. Okay, so we've got that dyad there. Now what we do is we drop it down to get to chord 4. This one, because it's on the A string, it's going to be an A shape. There's the A shape, but we want the root and the third there. And then we can find chord 5 here. The Venga bus is coming, guys. Yeah? Right? So you can hear that there. Sorry about that. I had to do it. It's always there, right? In the back of my mind that the Venga bus is coming, right? So we've got that there. Now we've got the 6th chord, but look here, that was a major third before. If we flatten it, we get the minor. And we do the same thing with that same shape here. We turn that into a minor. So now you can see we're going to get these dyads. Dyad, if you think of it, di means 2, I think. Diaphragm, diagonal, one point to another. So I think that's the way I think of dyads. D-Y-A-D, that's how you actually spell a dyad. So these are dyads. Power chords, I suppose you could think of as dyads. Double stops, yeah, dyads, yeah, why not? You know, that's an A. I think of that as it just being an A. It could be an A minor, it could be an A major. I don't know. There's no third. Right, so the thing is, chord 1, chord 4, chord 5, chord 6, chord 3, chord 2. Yeah? The Venga bus. You don't know about the Venga bus. It's a tune that was back in the 90s. So let me just switch this down here. So remember what I said. We're at fret 8 here. Fret 8. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the sum, the maths. We're going to go down the neck. We're going to play in a different position. Now what we're doing is we're changing to those chords, and we're just going to turn these into dyads. And I think that the reason why this is a super important lesson is because you're stating the minimum, but it's also going to help you to visualize on the fretboard. When you look at this and you think, okay, it's a C chord, where's my third? You know, when we're soloing or improving, we want to go, where's the third? Where's the 7th? Where's these money notes? Where's these notes that are going to make the girls cry and the guys want to be you? You know, this is what we're after. We're all these. So look, I need to be able to spot those. And this is why this is just a great exercise. And like I say, we take that there. There's chord 1 again, yeah? Remember, 1, 4, 5, yeah, there. Now this is where we would play that D shape. Let's strip all the unnecessary notes away, and we end up with the same shape as the A shape there. And there's chord 5. See, it's a... I got you again, the Venga bus. Yeah, so, right, we do that there. Now, what we've got is 1, 4, 5. Okay, that's cool. Right, well, what about 6, 3, and 2, Ricky, the minor triads? They live there. Well, we're going to take this D minor shape here. We're going to strip it away. We're just going to retain the root, and we're going to retain the flat third there. So we get the flat third there. And this shape goes, we like to party. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, you'll hear these all the time in it's a long time. I've forgotten it. It's Blackbird. Yeah, McCartney uses them in Blackbird. Anyhow, we're not getting into that. But let's stay on track, Ricky. So what we're doing is we're seeing which one we're doing there. Can you give us a quick hack for which chord shape is best for starting on which strings? That's all down to the cage system, Bill. Yeah, and I think another way to look at it is you need to understand this about the cage system, and it's about the chord shapes themselves. Caged means the caged acronym stands for the 5 shapes, the 5 master shapes that we have in the cage system: the C shape, the A shape, the G shape, the E shape, and the D shape. Let me look at this. Yeah, so C shape, A shape, G shape, E shape, and D shape. All chord shapes have their source in those 5 shapes. Sometimes they get mangled beyond recognition, but they do. They come from those source shapes, those 5 source shapes. But the thing to get from this, and I kind of explained it a little bit earlier on, was that the C, they share the A string for the root note. So look, there's a C. It's there. Yeah. If I play the A shape, the root note's on the same string. If we look at the G shape, which is the next C, A, G in the sequence, well, that one, yeah, we take that one, yeah, you can see that the root note for that G chord is just there, yeah, just there. It's on the E string. Let's look at the E chord. The root note for the E shape is on the E string. Yeah, so we've got a choice. If the root note for any chord is going to be on an E string, it's either going to be a G shape or an E shape. If the root note is on the A string, it's going to be a C shape or an A shape. If the root note is on a D string, it's just the D. The D shape is Billy No Mates. Doesn't share with anybody. That's until, the caveat is, that's until you get into inversions, inverted chords, which are beautiful. I think I did a lesson in the Facebook group years ago about inversions, but they're beautiful. But those are different rules. Yes. Frozen, lost feed. That might be Facebook. I don't know what's going on there. James is just checking it. Oh, fine. Right. Okay. But don't worry, guys, because the thing is, this will stay up on the page, on the channel. So looking at those there. So now what I can do is I can take those ideas that I had here. I had that shape there. So I can take those there, and I can spot my roots. I can spot my thirds. And I can do it down here as well. So, A chord root note on the A string. Yes. If you've ever done that sort of power chordy thing. Yeah, there you go. That's the A shape. A minor is the minor variant. Yeah, so we've got that one on there. Right, so what we've got this business going on here. Okay. I can show you that in those major and minors in the triads, but sometimes what you want is those juicy, expensive sounding, fancy seventh chords, and this becomes a really cool way of expanding your chord vocabulary in more than one position. This just so you can see. Think about it. We're covering from the 3rd to the 7th fret with one L7 grid, and we're covering from the 8th to the 12th fret with another L7 grid. So you've pretty much got the whole schbizners here. Isn't the root note on the G string 2nd fret? I'm not sure what that is. Okay, so here's what we might want to do with this as well. We might want to turn these into 7th chords. So ordinarily, how I would play these, and these are great if there's lessons out there with you use these shapes if you want to learn jazz. I use these all the time. These are my mainstays. So if I'm here, this is my chord 1. I know that the 7th that goes with this is going to make this into a major 7th chord. In a major key, chord 1, if it's a 7th chord, it's going to be a major 7. And this is this. And we get this lovely one. Yeah, so this is the romantic sounding chord. I always think major 7ths sound really romantic, kind of a bit like, I imagine I'm kind of like walking along in Paris. And I'm wearing designer fashion and, you know, and I'm just about to go and have coffee and croissants somewhere nice. Yeah, so there is where the major 7, that's what the major 7 says to me. Yeah, so there. Now if I move over to the 4 chord is always going to be a major 7 chord as well. Yeah, okay. Now listen to this. Yeah, chord 1 and chord 4 are major 7s. Pretty simple. So we've got that on the L7 grid. We think of those as being majors. Major, major, major. Chord 1, 4, and 5 are major chords. Yeah, but when we extend it into 7ths, what happens is chords 1 and 4 are majors, 7s. Yeah. Yeah. Now, when we move to chord 5, what we can do is we turn it into a bluesy 7th chord. It's a dominant 7th chord. It's the same thing, which basically means it's a major triad with a minor 7th. So you've got a flat 7 in there. So here you can hear that I've got those 3 chords there. Now the cool thing is, because I know this is on my A string, and I've done this in another lesson in the book, and it's like where you get those expensive sounds from. This note here in that equation, there's the A7 shape. Look, can you see that's an A7 shape? Still cage system. I've just shifted it here, but it's playing a root note of G here. Yeah. So this is here. Because it's an A shape, I think, well, what shape precedes the A shape in the caged acronym? So we've got C, A. Oh, so it's a C shape. So if I go, I can put my C shape here. Look. So I go, there's my 5 chord. Or I could play it like this. Or I could play it like a 9th. Or I could play it like a Jimi Hendrix 7 sharp 9. I could play it like a 7 flat 9. Because this is where the altered dominants live here, guys. That's where the altered dominants live, really. Chord 5. Down to chord 1. That's called a perfect cadence. Yeah? So you see, oh, we've got this going on here, guys. Yeah? Got this going on. We can have it as this little tiny 2-note chord that expresses the minimal, that leaves tons of space for you to sing, for the piano, for another instrument to do its thing. Yeah? So if you're playing with others, you need to be able to know this. But if you're the only one that's provided, if it's you, you're playing guitar, a bass player and a drummer, then you need to flesh it all out to give the full sound, the full personality of the chord. So we've got that one there. And then we've got this 5 here. Play it as a 9. 13. Yeah? Now, what I can also do here is I can go up then into my minor chords here. So I've got this one here. This is chord 6. Now 6 is a minor 7. And in fact, just remember this, right? Memorize this, guys. Have you got it? Just say it. When I've said it, yeah, just mutter it under your breath. If you're in public, it doesn't matter. Just people will think you're mad and then maybe, stand a little bit further away from you. Say it. Chord 6, chord 2, chord 3 are all minor 7 chords. Chord 6, chord 2, chord 3 are all minor 7 chords. So that takes a lot of brain strain out of thinking about, oh, which one's this one? There's certain things that you need to memorize, and that is one of those things. Chords 1 and 4 are major 7s. Chord 5 is dominant 7. Chords 6, 3, and 2 are minor 7 chords. Does that make sense? If it makes sense, yeah, I want you to look at the time on this video now, come back to it, write it down, stick it on the wall next to your your kettle. So when you're making a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, yeah, you can look at it and you can just remind yourself. It's a good way of doing it. Or stick it in the bathroom so you look at it when you're having a pee. But make sure you don't get it on the floor because you will be told off. Yes. So this is what I'm saying, right? Chord 1, chord 4, chord 5 is here, right? Chord 6. Got chord 6 here. Now, I like to play this chord 6 as a 3-note shell chord. And if you've heard of shell chords, that's what these chords are. Yeah, these are called shell chords. I can add different notes to them. With this one, that's an interesting one. That's major 7 sharp 5 from your harmonic minor. Yeah. So this is how we tap into all these. Yeah. Okay. So chord 4. Yeah. Now I can simplify that as this. I can simplify it as 3 notes. But if I was doing a solo, I might be thinking, if someone's playing an F chord like this, listen how that fits. Yeah. 20 notes. So that's how those guys work there. But on this minor, I like to play it like that. Some people play it like this because you can get this finger to do other things. Yeah, the shell is a root 3rd and 7th. Notice no 5th, because on Saturday's video I talk about the 5th being transparent. Yeah, it's not a colour note. It doesn't add any emotion to the chord. So really, you can leave it out. It's an emit note, you know, it's one of those. Right, okay, so we've got that there. I can do the same with this. This is an E shape, guys. You might think to yourself, that's an E shape. Let me devolve it. Let me just take it and we'll take it from a place where it looks familiar. Like, remember, E shape, switch the fingers, sliding it up here. There it is, a bar chord. Minorize it, because now we've got 5R flat 3 minor, but now I want to add that minor 7. I can take that pinky off there. This is a nice chord. And if you just get into grips with your minor pentatonic box 1, you can just play that chord there. It's a great one just to give you your pentatonic some context. Yeah, so you can hear that there. But what we could do is, this is a 5th. What did I just say about the 5th? We don't need it. Yeah, so I'm going to get rid of it there. I'm going to get rid of it there. There's the root. There's the flat 7. There's the flat 3rd. So look, from this to minor to this to this, we're constantly taking it away. And if I take this down to what I was talking about right at the beginning, this is just the root and the minor 3rd. There. Yeah, that's the dyad. That's the compound minor 3rd chord. That's a minor shape. I could use it down here. Now I add the 7th, so that's that same shape again. So let me just put those on. How cool are those? Yeah? And what I could do is I can think, let me just go into this. I'm going to go off on a tangent with this one. Yeah, this open here. No, when I take this minor shape off, this A minor shape, if I take the pinky off, yeah, that's the root note for the chord. If I lower it, it means I go down to a flat 7 that's under the bar. It's underneath the bar at the 3rd fret, on the G string, sorry, at the 12th fret there. That is a flat 7, minor 7. I can play it an octave up, and I can see where I can take that. So if I take that shape there now again, I can take that pinky off, and I can have 2 of them. Yeah, so now let's look at some of the shapes that are down in the other part. So hopefully you can see what we've got is from the 8th fret to the 10th fret, we've got dyad, basic 2-note chords, which are the root and the 3rd, on the L7 grid. We've got major and minor triads played as bar chords, bog standard, surf chords, you know, so that sort of thing there. Or we can turn them into the expensive jazzy chords. Yeah, the jazzy, bluesy. It depends how you use them, you know. So it depends as well. So when I play them like this, it's sort of chill, it's kind of smooth jazz sort of sound. Now what I'm going to do is if I take that down here into the L7 grid on the E and the A, on the A and the D string pair, yeah, the shapes change. Because this is on the A string, I'm going to use A shapes. There's my chord 1. You'll notice that that is actually the same shape as my chord 4. Can you hear the texture I get moving up here? Look at this. Yeah, so we get that. Right? Okay. A guy you might want to check out is he plays a lot of church guitar. He's Jonathan DuBose Jr. I think that's his name. Jonathan DuBose, Dubosee. Mind-blowing player. I love him. Love listening to that guy. He's really cool. So there's chord 1. Yeah? Chord 4 is going to be here. Now what we do is we take this D shape. Yeah, we're going to take this D shape here. And to get this, turn it into a major 7, what we do is we go 5, R3. This is the root, which is really an octave, which is 8. 1 less than 8 is 7. Move it down 1 fret. So this will suffice as that chord. But if we put that root note in there again, listen to this. This is going to be chord 4. Okay, hopefully this makes sense. So here's chord 1. Yeah. Beautiful. Major 7 chords. They're really nice. Now this is chord 4. Remember what I said about chord 5 was that it is a major triad with a dominant 7th. Yes, with a flat 7. So we did the D shape here and we went 5, R3. We flattened the 7 1 to get the major 7, so we have to flatten it again to get the dominant 7th. And we get this here, look. Well, what does that look like? There's its master shape. Yeah? Look at that. So we take that there. And then, now you can see I've turned that into a dominant chord. Yeah, you need to know this stuff because this is where your turnarounds all come in for your blues, which might be in the book. So we've got all this. Right. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to do the minor chords. And what I'll do is I'll start on this 6th chord. And I kind of want to show you how this works. This is the shape that we need. This is the major shape. Remember, this is the basic 2-note dyad that we get there. This is the root because it goes 5, R, flat 3. So we take that root, because we know that a minor 7 chord has got a minor 7, we need to take it from a root down to a major 7, down to a flat 7, which is a minor 7. So what we do is we do this awkward chord, we bar across there. And the funny thing is look how much that looks just like the C chord. So it's the first 3 notes, that little triad there from the first inversion triad, that C major chord. We take that there, and then what we do is we add the root that we want here for the 6th chord here. So there is how we get that 6th chord. Yeah? Okay, so there is that chord. That's the 6th. I'm going to come back up a string now because this is a D-shaped chord. Does that look like a D shape, guys? Does it? It's from a D shape. Yeah? There's the D minor. The cool thing is that when I do this, I can look at that. Yeah? All this stuff. This is where all these licks and everything live. Take that one there. Right, okay, so I'm going to jump up here from that D shape onto this A shape here, but it's a minor shape, so it needs to be that. But I'm turning it into a minor 7, which means I'm taking that pinky off. I can extend it and put it an octave higher up as well and get 2 flat 7ths in there if I want. See, this is same note there. Yeah? I think In Excess. Who remembers In Excess from back in the day? There's loads of songs that use this where they pull that flat 7 down to a 6 there. When you play that on its own, it doesn't sound great. Actually, I do like that. Yeah? Okay? So we've got that one there. That's chord 3. This is chord 2. Players at shell chords. Yeah? So now, if I want to play these as the shell chords, so actually I'll just preface it with the full shapes. Yeah? So we've got chord 1. Yeah? Chord 4. Chord 5. I'll play chord 6. Chord 3. Chord 2. Okay, so those are all our chords there. So we have them in this lower voicing, and like I said, the thing about this is if you listen to that, and I talk about timbre all the time, and the mixing your timbres up is a good way of stopping yourself from being bored of playing the same scales and the same chords. You know, listen to that there. It has a different timbre to this one here, and that's because of this is using a thicker string for the root note, you know, and I'm ending on a B string. This one here, same note, but it's on a thin E string, and it's going to sound brighter. Yeah, so you get a different I need you. That's when I need you tonight. That one. Okay, so we've got this. We take this here. Right, but what we can do is we can slim those down again. So if I take this, that's the 1 chord there. Now, I can play that like that. There's the 4 chord and there's the 5 chord. So, if I put those 2 shapes together, yeah, and this is a kind of, we're almost getting into triad pairs. If you've heard of triad pairs, it sounds like a scary thing, but it isn't, because basically what we're doing is we're taking 2 shapes and marrying them together. Yeah, so that would be there. So hang on, no. There's my chord. I'm in a different key there. Ricky, don't go there. Yeah. So I can use these bits of shapes. Yeah. And move around these ideas. So this is how we start to put the lead ideas and how we put the chord ideas together, but we're not stuck in boxes. We're not stuck in licks. We want to use boxes and we want to use licks as well, because I kind of think of this is it's almost like you need the kitchen sink. You bring the kitchen sink. You bring all those different things, those different textures, those different flavors, those different ideas, so that you can mix it up. So you stop yourself from doing this. Yeah? Who's boring themselves doing this? And trying to make it make sense as a solo. It doesn't. You need lots of ideas. You need lots of ways around it. But this is what I'm showing you. The L7 framework is there, and it will guide you and keep you on rails, because you have predictable patterns you can find every time. Hopefully that makes sense there, guys. Yeah. So, right. So we had that. Did I have something else that I wanted to say? So to kind of recap with this. Yeah. So what we've got, we've got a note. We've got a key. So how would you do this in real life? Okay. Somebody gives you a song and they said, right, okay, Ricky, what is it that we're going to play today? You say, all right, we're going to play something. It's in the key of, let's do it in the key of G. All right, okay. I'm going to use that there. That's a nice one there. Yeah, that's a nice one there. Cheers, Marcel. 3. Let's take 3, and what we're going to do is we're going to put the L7 grid on it. There's 1, 4, 5, 3, 6, 3, 2. Yeah? Same shapes. Not changing any shapes. Yeah? Play them as shell chords. Yeah? Just very simple shapes there. Fret 3. Okay. Moving up. I'm going to play these chords an octave higher now, because I haven't got any room to move down. Okay? Although I can find those shapes in a different way, which is another lesson in the book. Right? We take 3 and we add 7. Yeah? 3 add 7 gives us what? Gives us 10. There you go. 10. I got to 10. So look here. 1, 4, 5, 6, 3, 2. I found all my chords again. Yeah? Yeah? They're all here. Okay, does this make sense? Yeah? And then let's have a look. Yeah? That's it. This bit tight up there, but pick your battles. If you think to yourself, that's a bit tight up there, it's at the 14th fret. The 12th fret is just basically the same as the 0 fret. The dots match. That's 3. You can think of that as 3, 5, 7, 9. Your dots match. I've done a lesson on that. So this is a thing. So you take that there and you go, all right, okay. It's equivalent to the 2nd fret. Let's take it down there. Same shape. Okay. We do that there. So we can really start to flesh this idea out. If it's too hard up here, if you've got stumpy sausages like me, and you know, finding these little shortcuts and ways of playing things they're just pretty cool. I think these ways of doing it down here and how these things connect. Yeah. So you can see where they all fit. A wrong note there, okay? Yeah. Yeah, so we can add all these ideas together. Hopefully, I think I've over-egged the pudding there with that. I think I've got through everything that I wanted to get through with that, because if I start giving you too much stuff, you're going to go, no brain. Yeah, we want you to have a brain. We need a brain. There's enough people running things in the world without brains. So we need to have brains, right? Okay. So find the key that you want. You can transpose it up or down using the mathematical equation. -5 going down the neck to stay in the same octave. +7 going up the neck to move up into the L7 grid in a higher octave. Apart from when it comes to using these the G and the B string set. Then what we have to do, going down, it's 4, going up, it's 8. We have to add that compensation in there as well. Okay, so that's that there. Now, once we've discovered where the root note is, the tonic is for our key, we put the L7 grid on accordingly, and we can put the dyads, the 2-note chords, which are the basic fundamental sounds of those chords, those dyads. We can extend them into triads, then we can extend them into 7th chords. If we play those 7th chords, we can play them as shell chords. And because we can play shell chords like this, we can add, if we've got fingers, we can add notes. We can turn that into a 13 there. Yeah. And we can do all sorts of cool stuff with that. We can extend those chords, which is why you need to watch this Saturday's lesson, because I talk about simple octaves and compound octaves, which is going to be the key to understanding how to find these extensions and add them to the cage chords. Yes, so this is a book lesson plus, Dennis. Yes, this is a lesson plus. But the cool thing is that it enables us to navigate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to end this lesson on a nugget, on a big nugget as well at that. That what we can do, and I talked about how this L7 grid, it's essentially the first 6 notes of your major scale. Yeah, okay. -5 down, 7 up, with the caveat 4 and 8 on the G and the B strings. Yes, Bill. Yeah. There's the G major scale. Got to play this in G major scale so you can see the dots. Yeah, 1 4 5 6 3 2 1 2 3 4 5 6. You can think of it in that way as well. There's the 7, which is going to be my diminished chord, and here's my 1 chord. Yeah, what I can do is I can take these string pairs and I can bridge over using caged octaves. This note here is on the E string, so I'm going to use an E-shaped octave to find the same note on the D string. Yeah? Yeah, so that goes there. And that enables me to do this whole thing again. Look at this, guys. It's just amazing. 1 4 5 6 3 2. Now, if I know that's 1, I know where to start my triad. Yeah, this is 2. I know this is going to be Dorian. Yeah, 4, 5, 6, etc. But the cool thing is if I can take that over this string pair, because these are the 3 main string pairs, the E and A, the D and G, the B and the E, I can take it over onto these thin strings. And now, when you look at this, normally what happens is you associate a chord and you think G major 7. I'm going to think of it here. Yeah? I'm going to think of it here. But you kind of think that it's all from a bass note. But you don't need to just think of your chords, your Roman numeral chords, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in terms of being low sounding anomalies. Yeah, low sounding clusters. If I take that there and I know I'm in G, then I found the G note and I know that's my tonic. So these can become my target notes. So if I'm here, that's going to be chord 6. Now, hopefully, some of you will be getting that and you'll be thinking, you'll be seeing how this all connects. And this is the L7 grid, guys. This is just one of 4 grids. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Okay, so I think we're just about done. James is no doubt absconded, and he will probably be next door teaching next door's kids how to play guitar. And I am going to end the lesson with this one, guys. Thank you for bearing with me with the technical issues. I wish I had my overhead thing, but I've just shown it you by playing it you. This is one of those videos that you are going to have to repeat, rewind, because there is a lot to unpack in this lesson. There is a lot to unpack. I will be downloading it, cutting out all the chatter and putting it up just as it's with the information that you need form. So it'll probably take an hour lesson down to about a half hour. And you should be able to, consume that a little bit better. And YouTube automatically timestamps things as well. So hopefully that was useful. Okay, guys. And okay, somebody thinks it's time to call me. So I'm going to decline that call. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to say thank you very much for tuning in, guys. And I'll see you soon. I will see you soon, guys. Take care. Bye.